All right, we've made it to the Specimen Ridge Junction, and there's a bunch of angry sounding bison blocking our way. They're moving this way, but we're gonna have to go right up the hill. So this is our trail. This is a new challenge for me. The trail is littered with bison. And when I say littered, we're going up there, and there is almost nowhere that I can see that we can safely pick a line and go up. So we're just gonna have to dodge the bison today. All right, we've gotten our first glimpse of Mount Norris. So that is where we're headed. We have to head down this hill. Trail picks up there. Travel the ridge. We're getting absolutely beaten down by the sun. So that's what I look like. The other boys claim that they don't get sunburned. So your face is burned. So. And then we got some deer down there. There's a deer there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a whole herd of them that took off that way.
Hey, look at the deer.
Oh, and we have a deer right there. Look at that. One of the reasons we picked this hike was because it said it was chock full of wildlife. So that's always fun. All right, we are roughly 5 miles into our Mount Norris hike. Finally took a break. This is only our second break of the day, and we've been getting, getting absolutely pounding uphill. We've come over all those flat little hills there. You can see where we started from. Right in the middle of the camera is the parking lot. So we came around those and up the backside, and then can't really get a good view from here, but through those trees is Mount Norris, so we're getting pretty close to the base of the Rocky Mountain part. But I'd say overall today has been difficult so far. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I look like a true backcountry hiker right now. So I'll give you a good view in a second once we get closer to Mount Norris, and then we shall get to the hard, scary stuff. Shortly after our tree break spot, we can see the mountain. Looks like you head up those slopes, right up to the top. Troy.
What?
Say what you said when we were at the tree.
Oh, I said, I can't wait to get to the bottom of the mountain just to realize I'm too scared to climb up it.
A classic Troy move. We're pretty much to the base of Norris. We're gonna go up this green patch, head up here. Once you get to the summit cliffs, you have to trend to the east, which would be to the right from here. And then loose scree and breccia will take you to the top. In the previous video, you could see these bands of grass. It looks like the middle one is the safest option. So we're gonna go with that one. So we just made it above the 3 grassy stripes. It appears that we're going up and over that rock. I don't think we can go to the right. So let's see. We're gonna drop down to the left of this, and then we're gonna head up and over the knob. This is the little knob that we saw. Dal's heading up and over. I'm gonna have to put my camera away so I can use my hands. Been pretty straightforward since we got over the little notch. It looks like you can stay on the rocks here, and then the grass runs parallel on the left, but I think we're gonna stick to the rocks. So we've been able to stick to the rocks. There's a little notch that we came over. We've been sticking to the rocks, staying off the grass. The grass is pretty steep. Pretty much class 2. You can definitely hear in my voice that I'm tired. So it's steep, but nothing dangerous. Getting a little closer to the summit. We're gonna try going around here and then up into that area. It looks like there's a little bit of weakness over there. Not much going on left, but nothing too crazy so far. So we went to the right of the big rock in the last video. You probably could have come over it too, because we went to the right of it and then just zigzagged our way back up. But as you can see, great views into the Lamar Valley. We started, way down there. And then great views all the way through the eastern portion of Yellowstone. This is the northwest portion. We've got some colorful burn areas through here, so slowly but surely we're getting, I would say, within a few hundred feet of the top. Everything's been pretty solid so far, but I'm expecting to maybe run into a little more loose scree come up here a little bit. Heading to the east of the rocky outcropping, faced with this. It looks probably class 3. There's definitely gonna be some hands involved, but it's definitely doable, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we came up this chute. We took a left and went that way. That's all cliffs. So the correct way appears to be sticking to the east side, the right side of the cliffs, and just kind of chugging along through here. So it's definitely starting to get more loose, as you can tell. I just slipped. But it doesn't look like there's anything that's too dangerous. So you hug the cliffs, coming around, and then right when the cliffs start to end, you take a hard left, and it looks like there's a class 3 gully that goes straight to the top. I'm not totally sure if that's gonna take us all the way, but it looks pretty promising from down here, so. Alright, so here's what that class 3 chute looks like from the top. Never hike above your partners. I'm standing still, firm footing. I went left. Dallas. I went that way. We've made it to the summit ridge. I didn't take a whole lot of route videos through here because it was pretty dicey. There's the whole, so we came from down there where that bush is at. And it was pretty strong class 3 the whole way, so look at the views throughout Yellowstone. The summit ridge of Mount Norris. The views through Yellowstone are expansive. We've got the Lamar Valley, the Cache Creek area. Off in the distance, you see Pilot Peak. Overall, very long and challenging hike. Seldom climbed, so it's definitely something to be proud of. It's always nice when you can do something that not a whole lot of people do every year. So we have officially made the summit. There is barely even a cairn here, which tells you that it's not very often traveled. But it's absolutely stunning stuff. We came from way, way down there. Actually, that's where we came over. Parking lot is down there. And then just expansive views all the way through. Summit walking Mount Norris in Yellowstone. This is the way that we came up. So now we are heading back down. It's been a long, long, long ascent to get up here. But it's been a really, really nice hike. Started down in the Lamar Valley, a true gem of Yellowstone with a bunch of bison. And then it's just been up. All right, a small issue we ran into on the descent. If you go straight towards the end of the summit ridge, you'll get cliffed out. So you have to take a left, probably, what do you think, 100 feet before you get to the edge of the summit ridge. And then it comes down, there should be a pine tree, and then you come down this chute. Okay, so this is what we've been dealing with on the summit. It looks pretty dicey from here. Sometimes I wonder how the heck we get up and down these things, but there you go. Slowly but surely. Your face is burnt. That sucks. What, Dal? Nope. Not really. Alright, so we're taking our last food break of the day, then we'll probably push through. So there's the mountain we climbed, Mount Norris. When we went over there, there's a tree on that hill, right in the middle of the screen. We walked all the way from where we're at to there with no break. And it doesn't really look like it's that incline, but you drop down into this little valley here. And that's what we just came up. It was brutal. But it's probably like just into this little valley is probably 500 feet of elevation. You just go straight down and straight back up. But we made it. We got some Norris action. Nobody got hurt. And we had a great, beautiful, clear day. So now we just got to get past the bison one more time. Alright, so we have a serious battle with this sage going on right now. It is thick, and we came up it, so we got to go down it. But we walked down here, and it's kind of dark. Let's see. Oh, there's a bison in there. And there was a deer in there too, but the deer ran away. Alright, just for reference, we found that the path of least resistance is to the right of all the trees, and you kind of go up through this gully and then up that way. We came up like to the far left earlier, and there was a lot of sage. So you jump off the trail here, I don't know, I mean, we're probably quarter of a mile to the junction there. We're about to walk onto the trail, and we came down that little gully. That was much easier than the way we went up. If you want to see bison on a trail, the MountNorris trail is the one for you. They are all over the place. Much closer to us than we would like. Ready? Are you playing?
Okay.
Alright, we'll do the recap while we have Norris in the background. We're not done for the day yet, but we came somewhere between 7 and 8 miles all the way from the Lamar Valley. We jumped off the Lamar Valley, Lamar River Trail right after the junction with the, I can't remember the ridge, but there's a ridge trail, Specimen Ridge. We jumped off right after Specimen Ridge and had to dodge bison up. That was probably one of the more dangerous parts of the day, was getting through the Lamar Valley without getting charged by bison, because when we were pulling up, there were people literally sprinting away from bison, which, who knows, they may have gotten too close, but when you're on that trail, it's almost hard not to get too close. So we jumped off that, we headed up, just walking through sagebrush. That portion of the trail was not fun. There was probably a good mile or so, maybe 1,000 feet elevation through sagebrush and tall grass with no trail. You could pick up a game trail every once in a while, but it wasn't enjoyable by any means. Once you get to the top of the first like ridge hill type thing, It gets a lot easier. You kind of lose the sage, but you do drop down a good few hundred feet, and then you have to come back up. So you don't stay on the ridge all the way up to Norris, which that is not going to be fun coming back. We haven't gotten there yet, but that's going to be a tough end to the day. As far as Norris itself, once you get up to like the cliff area of Norris, it gets pretty class 2, class 3. There was nothing that turned us around per se. We're not huge mountain climbers. We climb a few mountains a year, but we're fairly well versed in class 2, class 3. So if you're thinking about doing Norris, it's a long approach through pretty easy terrain, but it was a challenging trail. I wouldn't say that it wasn't challenging, but if you know your way through class 3 climbing, you won't have any issues. It's just a long day, that's all. And you get spectacular views the whole day. You're looking down into the Lamar Valley, a nice gem of Yellowstone, and then you get to see a lot of the northeast portion of the park, which is pretty mountainous. So you get mountain views, valley views. It's pretty open. You're never really locked in on the whole ascent. So we did take a good beating from the sun, which is why I've got this shirt on my head. But I would say that overall, the views were expansive. The mountain was challenging. So it was a really, really good hike. If you want to climb something in northeast Yellowstone, this would be a good one for you if you are versed in off-trail travel.